Okay, so sit yourself onto your lift and come to a good cross-legged position. So feel that you can sit evenly and with equal balance on both of the seat bones. So spend a little time just finding your balance, finding your ideal position, and then hold on to your knees and lift and open the chest. If you've only just got up, which I think most of us have, it's always really nice just to first give yourself this lift of the front chest, drawing the back chest down away from your ears, just so that you can really wake the energy of the body. So take some deep inhalations, some deep exhalations. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Just look down at the floor, look at something that's not moving. So soften the jaw, soften the tongue, soften the throat. Just inhaling through the nostrils, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, and emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom. And then bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together. And then with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Filling the lungs evenly, emptying the lungs evenly. Every now and then, as long as there's no heart condition or blood pressure issue, at the top of the in-breath, just gently retain the breath for a moment or two. Just for a couple of seconds, and then release with a normal exhalation, and then normal inhalations with a brief retention, just to absorb more of the energy of the breath. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something, someone, or somewhere. And then hold on to that feeling of abundance in your heart area. And release the backs of your hands towards your knees. And then just as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open. Hold on to your knees, lift and open the chest, drive your spine upwards. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, your ribs across, your shoulders across. So just waking the body up with movement. Just feel the body's resistance and respect that. Don't overdo it, but just feel that pleasant sensation of just extending into the resistance. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift and open your chest, and then turn to the left. Again, just observing the sensations of the pose as you turn, drawing the abdomen across, the ribs across, the shoulders across. And then come back to the center. Just come off your lift and then just sit yourself down on your heels. So the big toes together, your knees are wide apart, and then just get hold of the inner heel, the inner ankle, and then turn the inner heels outwards so that you make really good contact with the between the seat bones and the heels. Press your shins really firmly into the floor and lift and open the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just spend a moment listening to the breath, inhaling deeply, drawing the inhalation in through the nose. Before we come down, draw your chin down to meet your chest. And then draw your chin up to face the ceiling. And then again, draw your chin down to meet your chest. So feeling the stretch of the neck, just like loosening out stiff necks. And then draw the chin up towards the ceiling. So lengthening the chin towards the ceiling, stretching the skin underneath the throat. And then come back to the center. And then draw your right ear down towards your right shoulder. You probably won't get all the way there, but you'll feel the stretch on the left side of the neck. And then come back to the center. And again, the same to the same side, drawing the left ear down towards the left shoulder. I think might have said my lefts and rights wrong there. So just doesn't really matter if you've done the other side first. Doesn't really matter. Come back to the center. Now, whichever side you did there, bring your neck over to the other side. So maybe the right ear to the right shoulder. And then come back. And then just the same direction, just doing that twice. Feeling the stretch on the side of the kind of longer side of the neck. And then just come back to the center just one more time. Lengthen the chin forwards and make contact between the chin and the chest. And then release. Draw the chin up towards the ceiling. Try and get the chin to reach up to the ceiling. And then come back to the center. And then drawing the chin down to meet the chest. Lifting the chest up to meet the chin. Drawing the shoulders down away from your ears. And then lengthen the chin up to meet the chest. So it's that kind of bhujangasana stretch of the front of the chin. It's a good way to stop double chins, this. Lengthening the chin up towards the ceiling. And then release. And then draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. And then come back. And then the left ear towards the left shoulder. And then come back. And then the right ear to the right shoulder. And then come back, and then the left ear to the left shoulder. And then come back. So we've been sitting in Virasana for a little while. So lift up into the chest and then hinge at the hips. Come forwards, try and keep those seat bones in contact with your heels. Keep stretching forwards into the arms. Take some deep inhalations, giving you space to stretch forwards and then to bring the head down. But aim to keep the seat bones in contact with your heels if you can. Lengthening the sacrum area of your back down towards the tailbone. So the sacrum is just above the tailbone, so lengthen that area down to the tailbone. Lift your head, keep your right hand where it is, and then stretch your left arm underneath your right armpit. Bring the left shoulder down onto the floor. Rest your head on the floor. Press that left arm really firmly into the floor, and then rotate the chest down to face the floor. So some long stretches. And then stretch your arms away. Come back into Adho Mukha Virasana for a moment. And then the right arm underneath the left armpit. Stretching that arm away, palm facing the ceiling. Bring the shoulder down onto the floor, the head down onto the floor. Press that right arm firmly into the floor like you want to push it through the floor. And then turn the chest to face the floor. Breathing deeply and evenly into both lungs. And then stretch back into Adho Mukha Virasana. So extending into your Adho Mukha Virasana, just feeling that you can breathe into the pose, breathe into the extension, and then come up onto your knees. Turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Keep your knees bent initially. Press the palms of the hands into the floor and lift the seat bones. Tilt the seat bones and the tailbone up towards the ceiling. And then work to straighten your legs. Pressing your kneecaps firmly into the sockets, hitting the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turning the fronts of the thighs inward so that your heels start to separate. listening to the sound of the breath. And from here, we're going to come up into dog up. So keep your hands where they are, keep your feet where they are, and then stretch the front of the chest through the arms, broadening the collarbone, broadening the diaphragm, pushing into the heels, keeping the legs away from the floor, drawing the tailbone in, lifting up, extending up into the chin. And then come back up into dog down. So just come back to dog down, just observe the pose. Observe how the hands are making contact with the floor. Is it just the heel of the hand or the palm of the hand? So stretch into the palms of the hands, press the palms into the mat, not just the heels of the hands. Swing the hips forwards, come up one more time into dog, up. Pushing into the heels, drawing the lower ribs through the arms, turning the crease of the elbows to face the front, collarbone broaden, extending to the heels. And then come back up into dog down. Just observing the feeling of the pose. Lifting the front chest, pressing the palms into the floor. Okay, and then just step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position. If you've got back problems of any kind, then come into half uttanasana with the blocks underneath your hands, and then you just come into the pose halfway like this. If there aren't problems with your back, then you're going to do full uttanasana. So turn your toes in a little, have your feet as wide apart as the mat, so that the outside edge of your feet line up with the edge of your mat. Turn the fronts of the thighs in, tuck the tailbone in, lift up into the chest, extend your arms towards the ceiling. Lift up into the chest, feel the broadness of the front of the chest. And then bring the arms a little closer together, hook the thumbs into the crease of the elbows, wrap your fingers around your elbows, and then hinge at the hips, keeping the arms straight, and then just allowing the top of the body to hang down. Just listening to the sound of the breath. Breathing evenly. Just letting the top of the body hang down, but keeping the legs charged determinedly. Okay, and then release, come back, bring your hands into your hips, and then come up into a standing position. Bring in the feet together, the soles of the feet together, and the big toes together, your heels together, and then just come up into Tadasana. So have the inner edge of the feet touching. Lift and open the chest, drive the spine upwards, lifting up into the chest. Stretch your arms forwards and raise your arms up, sirvasana. Extending your arms up towards the ceiling, keeping the shoulders down away from your ears. Trying to draw your arms beyond your ears, but without poking your head forwards. Opening up the armpits as you go. And then release your arms. Just get a belt and put the belt over your right shoulder. So you might not need it, but it's there just in case for gomukhasana. You just stretch out the shoulders, extend the left arm forward, spread into the fingertips, spread into both hands, even the hand that you can't see. Turn the palm all the way out, and remember it's turning the whole of the arm, the upper arm in the socket as much as the hand and the wrist. So turning that arm all the way out, reaching behind you, rotating that arm in the socket, and then bending that elbow, assisting the arm to reach the neck, the fingers to reach up towards the neck. If you can get hold of that elbow, you can pull that in, or just assist as I'm doing with the right hand. Try and get that left hand up towards the neck, and then reach up into the right arm, and then keep the elbow bent. So keep extending into the elbow as you reach down. Now, if you can't get hold like I can't today, my shoulders have been stiff recently, then get hold of the belt. Just be in Tadasana with the feet, with the legs, and then pull the two elbows away from each other. Holding onto your belt or your fingers, just trying to creep the hands a little bit closer. Breathing evenly, lengthening that top elbow towards the ceiling, the bottom elbow down towards the floor. Just stretching the shoulders. So after a little while, I can get hold of my hand rather than the belt. Just a little stiff to start off with, but then you warm into it, extending the elbows away from each other in a little tug of war. Okay, and then just gently release the top arm. That's the easy one. Just drop the chest a little, and then just release the back hand. Spread the fingers as you come out of it. Try not to shake your hand. And then come back into Tadasana. Put the belt over to your left shoulder. So often on this other side, I nearly always need the belt. So stretch your right arm forwards, but extend into the palm and the fingers of both hands. And then turn the palm and the upper arm in the socket, keeping that upper arm in rotation. And then again, assist the arm up, assist the fingers up towards the neck. And then reach out of the left arm. Feel that pose is from the last time is still there. Reach out of it and then reach down. Take hold of your belt or the hands and just begin that little tug of war between the elbows. Pulling the elbows apart every now and then. Just see if you can inch the hands a little closer, whether you're holding onto the belt or the actual hands. Just feeling that openness of the shoulders. And then gently release the top arm. Just gently release the bottom arm. Stretch both arms out in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms up and over your head. Breathing evenly and deeply. And then release, just swap the interlock of the fingers, do the unnatural interlock, turning the palms all the way out. And again, raising your arms over your head, keeping the legs in Tadasana. The chest in Tadasana, the back chest descending in Tadasana. And gently release your arms, just let go of the belt. And then just be in Tadasana, lift and open the chest, stretch your arms out. Just feel if there's more openness perhaps in your shoulders than usual. Take a deep inhalation, and then on an exhalation, step or jump your feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turning your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, and then opening the legs to bring the inner leg outwards. Keeping the back leg really firmly extending, come down and find the shin. Just feeling the stretching of the legs, that intense stretch of the hamstrings. Turn the chest up and look up. So just feel that both feet make contact with the floor, and then lift out of the feet into the shins, into the kneecaps, into the thighs, into the hips, from the hips up into the chest. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, swap the feet around, so the left toe, the right toes come in, the left leg and foot comes all the way out. And then keeping that right leg really firm as you come down, find the shin. Just looking down, turning the chest upwards, and then looking up. Feeling the stretching out of the legs, the extension of the backs of the thighs, those hamstring stretches. Observe the kind of almost sudden clarity of the sinuses. And then come back to the center, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump the feet back together. Just come back into Tadasana. Just lift and open the chest. And then bring your arms wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump your feet. Go wide with your legs, as wide as you can. Turning your toes in, making sure that your feet are in line with each other on the mat. So it's useful sometimes to just edge your heels towards the back edge of the mat so that you know that your heels are in line. And then turn your toes in. Have your hands on your hips, and let gravity just do its thing. So when you just kind of give in to the chest, give in to the legs, gravity kind of draws the physical body down, and the body starts to feel heavy, and we lose kind of inches in height as well. So feel how the feet make contact with the floor. Often it's the inner edge of the feet that collapse into the floor. So tighten your kneecaps, turn your thighs inwards, and then feel that you can bring the outer edge of the feet onto the floor. Suck from the feet up into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, up into the hips, and from the hips up into the torso, up into the chin. And then holding the hands on the hips, come forwards, hinging at the hips. And then reach down, find the floor. Or if you can't reach the floor comfortably, then use some blocks. But be on fingertips, whether you're on the floor or on the blocks. So go back to the feet. Turn the toes inwards. Spread the toes. Bring the outside edge of the foot down onto the floor. And then scoop the seat bones up away from your heels. Push the kneecaps into the sockets. And then project the chin and the chest forwards. Breathe evenly. Soften the jaw, soften the tongue. If you can, bring the chest forwards and down, and then bring the heels of your hands in line with the heels of your feet, and then bring the head down. Try not to hit your weight forwards in order to bring the head down. You can always put a block underneath your head if you can't reach. And you can also reach around the outsides of the heels to give the legs some additional support. So there should be very little weight on your head. The weight should be hitting back into your heels. Hit the shins back, hit the thighs back, so that the weight is in the legs, not in the heels. Okay, come back to the halfway point. Bring the heels of the hands down onto the floor, bend your knees, and then step or jump your feet back together, and then come back up into Tadasana. Are you okay there, Ruth? Yeah, okay, good. Come up into Tadasana, just feeling that you can reach upwards. And then reach upwards with the arms, extending the arms up to the ceiling. And then release. And then just come down onto all fours and come up into dog down. Just feel how every pose is unique. Every pose feels different today than it felt yesterday. And that is why there's never just this kind of mechanical moving through the poses. Because every day the poses feels different. Maybe there are fewer or greater restrictions, resistances. Just observe how the body feels right now, this particular moment in time. So this is how yoga also draws our attention into the present moment. By observing and addressing the challenge of this pose now. Okay, come down onto your knees and then just sit back on your heels, lift and open the chest. And then come down onto your back for supta baddha, just to kind of rest out the spine, but to also open up the hips. So keep the feet firmly contacting each other. Press the feet together. Lengthen the inner groin to the inner knee around to the outer knee sucking in towards the hip and the ankles. So keep the legs firm. Use supports underneath the thighs if you need to support your hips a little further. But when you press the heels together, often the discomfort in the hips reduces. So move in between that and just letting the legs release passively. Just listening to the sound of the breath. Softening the jaw and the tongue and the throat. And then gently draw your knees together, have your feet apart. So you kind of reverse the opening action of the hips. So the knees are together, the feet are apart, drawing the knees inwards. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from top to bottom, from side to side. So we've opened up the shoulders a lot. So we're going to just open up the hips. Bring the feet together as close to the seat bones as you can get them. The feet together, the knees together. And then draw your right knee in towards the chest. Just grip around that front of the knee and draw the knee in towards the chest. Flexing the right heel. Just drawing that knee in towards the chest. And then just loosen the hip a little. Reach down and take hold of the right foot with the left hand. And then try and bring that right heel into the left inner pelvic bone. So drawing the foot into the left pelvis, like you're doing cross legs or padottanasana. Hold onto that onto that right foot with the left hand, and then lengthen that right knee away from the body. You can even give it some assistance with your hand, but not in the knee, in the thigh. Just lengthening that knee away. And then just release. So just let that right thigh become soft for a moment. Just keeping the left heel in, the right heel in the left hip. Get your hand into the back of the left knee and then draw that left knee in towards the chest. So you get stretches in lots of different places here. You get hamstring stretch, that back buttock of the bent leg stretch. There's a little massage in the abdominal region if your foot is in the inner pelvis. Just drawing that left knee in towards the chest. Stretching out the back. So this is quite a pleasant stretch if you've got kind of middle back problems. And then just release the leg. Just kind of cross the right foot and then bring the feet into padottanasana. So just observe how that right hip socket feels and how it probably feels different to the left hip socket. So draw your feet in towards the seat bones as close as they'll go, and the knees in together. Feet together, your knees together, and then draw in the left knee. Just grip around that left knee and draw the left knee in toward your chest. And then reach down, get hold of that left foot with the right hand and try and bring the heel of that left foot into the inner pelvic bone on the right side. Holding onto that foot with the right hand, lengthen the thigh, that left thigh away from the chest. And then just gently soften that thigh of the left side. And then bring the right knee into the chest. Hook the hands around the back of the right knee and then just start to draw that right knee in towards the chest. Flexing the right heel, just feeling the stretch at the back of the left hamstrings. Just feeling the left gluteus muscle stretching in the buttock. Just breathing evenly, drawing that right knee in towards the chest. So it's reverse or reclining pigeon pose, supta kapotasana. So it's a really nice stretch of the backs of the legs, opening up the hips. And then just gently let go of that leg. Just uncross the left leg, bring the feet towards each other, and then just let the legs fall apart into baddha for a moment. So just breathing evenly, deeply, and softly. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock, holding the knees into the chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just really ironing out the kinks in the spine. And then just rock yourself up into a seated position and then come into cross legs. Maybe cross legs feels a little more doable. Maybe you can do half padmasana. Maybe you can even do full padmasana, but nothing that's going to overstretch you. Hold onto your knees, lift and open the chest, driving the spine upwards. Take a good, strong, deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side with the exhalation, using each subsequent exhalation to just turn the spine a little more. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift and open your chest. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left side, using the exhalations to just move a little more deeply into turn. And then come back to center. So if you've got a bad back, then just stay at this stage. Otherwise, lift and open the chest, and then lifting the abdomen upwards. Come forwards, driving the chin forwards, extending into the hands, keeping the seat bones down on the heels. That didn't make sense. Seat bones down on the floor, and keep extending the chin and the chest forwards, lifting the chest. Softening the jaw and the tongue and the throat. And then come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees, lift. Open your chest, lower your shoulders down away from your ears. And then just prepare yourself for sirvasana. So get your blanket for underneath your head. And then just bring yourself down onto the floor. So support the back of your neck and the shoulder and the back of the neck and your head on the bolster, on the blanket. Just pick up your head and lengthen just the back of the neck out a little. Hold on to the sides of the mat and then draw your knees in towards your chest. And then just for a moment or two, just lengthen the legs up in viparita karanhi. Just breathing evenly and gently. And then bend your knees. Just stretch your legs out along your mat. Just come up onto your elbows for a moment. Make sure that you're in a really good straight line right down the center of your mat. And then just stretch your arms out away from the body a little. And then just gently release into the floor. Just listening to the sound of the breath. Just allowing the physical body to release into the floor. letting go of the arms and the legs. Allowing the physical body to become heavy. Again, just observing the unique feeling of this pose, unique to this particular moment. Observe the energy that rises to the top of the skin. Distribute that evenly through the breath. Down into the tips of the toes, the tips of the fingers, and the top of the head. And then when you're ready, just gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from top to bottom, from side to side, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just a final cross legs with your hands in the mat, just a final spinal lift. Close your eyes, draw your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning. Good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions, the forward bends, the twists, the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel like you've really kind of lengthened out your hips and your shoulders, just to give you some kind of real stability for the rest of your day. So have a good day. Thank you.